Hey, good morning, everybody. Trust everyone's having a good day. I want to jump right into today's devotion from Easter Sunday. Um, wasn't able to be with you all, was elsewhere preaching in town, and so I went back and listened to Brother TJ's message, and I greatly enjoyed it. Um, but good news, talking about the gospel of Jesus and how it can transform and change lives. Um, And so I've entitled mine "Go Tell the Good News" because the verses that we're going to use here is in Mark 16. He used the first 9 verses, I believe, of chapter 16 of Mark. I want to look at verses 7 and 8. It says, "But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee, and there shall ye see him, as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fled from the spectacle. And they trembled and were amazed, neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid." And we'll look at the very beginning of this here. Enjoyed the skit there as well, the different characters and things depicting the scene of that day, and um, talking about we don't want to call it the Easter story, but the hinge on which everything in the Christian faith kind of lies on, and that the fact that it is an empty grave, that Jesus did come and conquer death, hell, and the grave. And so then when the women come to the tomb there, and the Lord has sent them word. The angel tells them to go and tell the disciples, here's what Jesus says, that he's going to come in to Galilee there. And then we know, reading for uh, beyond that Jesus meets up with them. Um, and that's when, of course, Thomas and everybody will be there and um, have his doubts. But the fear that they have right here, I think, is something that we can all relate to. The fear of going and telling, but we got to remember what it is. It's good news. It's not, they're just like the people here, the women and the disciples as they went forward. A lot of people didn't believe the message that they had to tell. You know, but Jesus just tells us to go and tell. He takes care of the details. And the fact that it is good news, that it's not just good news, but it's great news. And that's what the gospel is. And so the fact that they're told to um, go and tell. And that's kind of what I want us to concentrate on in our devotion today, that God has, called us to go. And, um, sometimes that within itself is difficult and hard and to understand. And it's easy to say, well, if God will call me here, or God will call me there, or whatever else. But He says, go your way and tell. What's your way? The way He tells you to go. Um, and tell the good news. And we tell that in a victorious fashion because, again, it's a life changing message. We can tell people, hey, guess what? I just, whatever, um, you know, won a game. I just, hit this amazing shot. I just, you know, made this wonderful meal. I just lost 2 pounds. Whatever. We can be excited and tell people the least of things um, in our day to day life. But thinking about this, guess what? The tomb is empty. And I like when Brother TJ was sharing that and talking about all the different religions that there are in the world, but there's only one empty tomb. You can go back to every and trace every religious leader of every religion of the past, and you can find the remains of their body or parts of their remains in a tomb somewhere, um, in a grave somewhere. There's a tombstone depicting this is where that religious leader died. You cannot do that with Christianity. There's an empty tomb, and that is good news because he lives. And so as we go, we need to remember that the good news that we have to tell is definitely worth being excited over. We will be, a little scared at times. It can be a little intimidating. But know this, there's good news out there. And in a world that's looking for some good news, we as believers have the best of news. And I heard something on the radio, I think it was just maybe yesterday morning, but they talked about that one of the greatest evidence of the empty tomb should be in our lives today, of how Christ had changed us. Because had he died on the cross and that was it, there would be no change in us. But the fact that he's changed us, and what we used to be, we're not now, and the hope that we have for tomorrow is enough to change our lives, of the goodness of God and the fact that he did, as we said, conquer death, hell, and the grave. And so what great news we have, and what a privilege it is to be able to go and tell that the grave has been conquered, that the tomb is empty, and that the Lord that we serve reigns forever. So we pray that you have a blessed day. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.